All right, in more news from West Asia, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called on his main challenger, Benny Gantz, to form a unity government together. Listen in.
ועכשיו אני קורא לך, חבר הכנסת בני גנץ, בני, עלינו להקים ממשלת אחדות רחבה עוד היום. העם מצפה מאיתנו, משנינו, שנגלה אחריות, שנפעל בשיתוף פעולה. ולכן אני קורא לך, בני, בוא ניפגש היום, בכל שעה, בכל עת, כדי להניע את המהלך הזה שהוא צו השעה. אסור לנו ואין שום סיבה להגיע לבחירות שלישיות. אני נגד זה. צו השעה, ממשלת אחדות רחבה, עוד היום.
Israel is now leading to a deadlock as the votes have nearly been counted. The election results have given equal number of seats to both Netanyahu and Gantz without an obvious path to a majority coalition. In a video message, Netanyahu said that he prefers to form a right-wing coalition, but the results have shown that it was not possible. The partial vote tally points to a tie between Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party and his main rival Benny Gantz's Blue and White party. With no majority in the 120-seat Knesset, lengthy coalition talks loom large. The future of Israel's government continues to lie in the hands of smaller parties. Now, Avigdor Lieberman of the Israel Beitenu party is now being touted as a possible kingmaker. And beyond Berlin's one's very own Daniele Pagani now joins me live from Jerusalem. Daniele, have you heard from Benny Gantz yet? We are given to understand that he might make a statement very soon.
Yes, definitely, yes. He needs to respond to the, so to say, invitation that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, incumbent Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said. The message that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sent out signals the fact that he is somehow indirectly admitting defeat. He didn't do so as of now. We were waiting for a media statement from his side. Why am I saying so? Well, because he is acknowledging that he cannot form a right-wing coalition, and therefore he is acknowledging that the only way out of this statement for him is to reach out to his rival. There is a problem, though. Benny Gantz has repeatedly said that he would have been happy to join hands with the Likud, which is Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's party, but the one condition is that Benjamin Netanyahu needs to step aside, and this is a very tough negotiation. The Likud does not change its leaders. It has only had 4 leaders since the beginning of its activities in Israel 17 years ago.
And also, Daniele, if Benny Gantz and Benjamin Netanyahu indeed, if they do indeed join hands, where would that leave Avigdor Lieberman and his Israel Beitenu party? Would he still be a part of the government, or will he remain the kingmaker going forward as well?
It depends, because if they can actually strike a deal, they can actually form a coalition only with the 2 parties, the Likud and the Blue and White coalition. So there would be no need of Avigdor Lieberman. They can join hands together. But as I say, that the real bone of contention would be the role of Netanyahu. Clearly, Benny Gantz has gathered now a major number of seats. It seems now that he is 2 seats ahead of the Likud and more votes in terms of pure numbers. So if someone has to be the leader of this coalition, it means it is Benny Gantz. And maybe the only way to form a coalition is to get anyway Avigdor Lieberman inside as a guarantor of peace between the 2 parties, as, so to say, a neutral figure helping to bridge the differences and perhaps be the face of this new coalition, a sort of a responsible face of this coalition.
Indeed. And Daniel, let's for a moment take a step back and look at the decade-long rule of Netanyahu. Now, his tally this time is less or fewer than what he got in April in the elections. How do you see his political career going forward, especially given the fact that he has a number of corruption cases stacked against him? Also, in hindsight, do you think his promise of annexing Jordan Valley proved counterproductive for him and Likud party in these elections?
Well, he is going to face a lot of troubles, to put it simple. Why so? He's going to a pre-trial in a fortnight, which means 15 days, and he's standing in front of court for a pre-trial. He faces 3 different charges of corruption and bribery. The only way out of these case that he is involved in would have been to be the Prime Minister and to pass an immunity bill, which is going to be impossible for him if he's not the Prime Minister. So that's the first problem he's going to face, and it's not going to be easy for him to retain a position of leadership. Israelis do not enjoy having prominent politicians indicted, hence he will need to take a step back and eventually go to court. When it comes to the annexation, if there is a large unity government, that won't be a priority anymore. Benny Gantz is not against annexation. He might also be on board with the plan, but he didn't promise it. That was a last-minute electoral stunt that Netanyahu put out there in order to court right-wing voters. It was his very own promise, and certainly it's not a priority for Israel. The country has much more important challenges. There is a security situation which is plummeting by the day, to the north with Hezbollah, to the south with Gaza and with Iran, and also the economy needs to be re-established. The government wasn't in place for the last 6 months, and the public expenditures has gone, so to say, a bit wild. It needs to be replanned.
All right, Daniele, we'll keep coming back to you for more on this developing story. But for now, thank you so much for sharing your insights into what is happening in Israel as we speak. Appreciate it.